Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Wednesday here on chronospeakeasy.com. I'm Paul, joined with Rob and Jay, and tonight, or today, depending on when you're listening to this episode, we're doing our Ant-Man and the Wasp review. And boy, do we have some thoughts, both big and small.
Almost quantumly small.
Whoa.
Microscopic.
Someone
I
say
wish they called it the microverse. I feel like there would have been a little bit of an easier bit of stuff there, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, someone say you took
the
a
quantum realm, right?
Yeah. I think Rob...
Yeah, microverse would have been better.
He took a quantum leap to make that joke work.
Microverse is what it's called in the comics, right?
Acknowledgement.
Wait, what was that?
The microverse? Yeah, the microverse is what it's called in the comics, right?
Sure. That's the micro... Yeah, well, doesn't Reed Richards keep going to the microverse?
Everybody goes down there.
That's true.
Who doesn't go to the microverse?
I love in the comics that, like, when you get, like, smaller and smaller and smaller, like, yeah, you kind of get, like, molecules and bacteria and atoms, but then when you keep going, it's like a whole new civilization. It's like medieval Europe. Like, it's like, how did that happen?
Well, you can just go there and become a god.
Pretty much. Which is my backup plan if my banker doesn't work out.
I think Rick and Morty kind of explains it in a fun way, where it's just like time moves at a slower speed in their realm because they're so much smaller than us. So there are infinite universes that can keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. They just keep going back in history and then like evolution as far as their intelligence and everything like that.
The time moving slower makes sense. It's just funny, like in the comics, when you have like all of these molecules and atoms, and oh look, a kingdom. It's like, how do we go from like atoms to like castles?
Yeah, at least in the movie, we'll get to that, but it's just kind of a weird, blurry, weird area.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a cool blurry area. I will say the visuals in this were pretty rad.
They're real pretty.
I would say overall, I think this movie is a large step up from the first one.
Yeah, and you can't
like Giant Man joke.
It could have been, I guess, but but no, I really, really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was a good ass time at the movies. I thought the first one was a good ass time at the movies too, but this one I feel like kind of embraced the fun action more so than the last movie did. Yeah.
Well, you know what I think helped is the fact that for Peyton Reed that it was his movie, and by that I mean Ant-Man originally was written by Edgar Wright, and it was a Joe Cornish, and then obviously there was all these creative differences, and so Reed kind of came in, kind of like picking up somebody else's movie. But I feel like with this, it's kind of more. It seems to be more tonally singular in vision, which I think really helped for
this. It
this.
Definitely feels like a tighter movie, plot wise and just movie wise.
The jokes deliver real good.
Yeah.
Like, just even at the beginning where they're doing the little, like, heist scene thing where he built a fort and set, like, from the whole house.
That was adorable.
Yeah, when I watched that, I was like, oh my god.
Magic.
That little girl has got one hell of a dad.
With a lot of time on his hands, which I thought was kind of like a great... Yeah, it was, and what a kind of great way to explain what's happened since the last time we saw this character. Or even if you hadn't seen the other movies, like on the off chance you've never seen any of the Marvel movies, that served as a pretty functional exposition, so to speak, about like, oh, this guy's under house arrest and has all this time to do all this cool stuff.
You learned how to drum.
That was amazing. That's like it like makes me wish I could have summer vacations again, because that's the kind of things I would be doing.
And like having a bubble bath time.
Oh my god, anytime I can squeeze one in.
You just had a consistent schedule of moderate
hobbies.
work, playing drums, and then just taking a bath in like the middle of the day.
Dude, that's the best.
Real talk, I want to have a bath. I'm too big to fit in tubs.
My bathtub, I
fair.
can either sit in and it'll almost go over my knees,
Okay.
or I can like stick my knees straight up and like lay, but there's no way to like submerge myself.
Right. I
fully.
want that. Like,
Yeah.
basically make it a jacuzzi, but have it be a bathtub.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, if
I
I'm gonna...
always say I've never. You can continue.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, like, if I'm gonna, sit in my own filth, I want to do it with some bubbles. And I want to have my whole
Well, I
body
sit
in there.
I sit in my own filth every day.
Well, with water.
It's just my existence at this point.
And it took a dark turn.
But anyway, other than the fact that I'm jealous of his bath time, I don't even know what the fuck to talk. There's so much to go over.
Yeah, I mean, well, the plot of this one, I will say, I think is much more straightforward. It's basically, like we said, I almost said Paul Rudd. I forgot his character. All of a sudden, I can just think of his
Scott
name.
Lang.
Yeah, so Scott Lang's under house arrest. He's being a good guy.
You could
He
just
just
say
needs
Paul
to
Rudd.
last 2 years. Then he's out. His daughter can see him again. Everybody will be happy. It'll be good times for all. But when he went to the quantum realm, he somehow got entangled or something with Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp.
More like Janet
So-
Van Damme. Michelle Pfeiffer still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
So we got Michelle Pfeiffer back in this movie. But the basic point of this movie is the Wasp, with the help of her dad, original Ant-Man, and Scott, just want to find their mom. And they need to get to the quantum realm. That's essentially the plot.
Yeah, and it's very self-contained. It works really well, and and if you think about it, it's I definitely feel like it's more of like like a family movie in terms of like it. I mean, it's a Scott Lang story, but it felt like it was mainly more Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas, which I'm totally cool with.
Yeah, I thought their chemistry was great. I think everybody in this movie's chemistry is great. That's one of the reasons why it works so well. Like, Scott and his daughter's relationship was super believable. I love that she has the best stepdad ever, who's like the nicest guy ever.
I know that
And
family
I remember loving.
has
I remember
bonded.
loving that from the first one, but just seeing it again in this one was
They
always funny.
bonded.
Well,
Whenever
the first one, he
he'd
seemed
come
like
around to the
just
back.
he seemed like such an overprotective stepdad in the first one, where it was just like, hey, you don't have the right to talk to your own kid. Now it's just like, hey, buddy, I love you.
Yeah, I love we kept
So
calling
come
him
up, bring it
buddy.
in for a hug. We're making a sandwich.
Yeah, that family has come a long way. I don't know if maybe there's some family counseling between Ant-Man and Civil War. I don't know, but whatever they did, it's working. Because I mean, God, I
I
wish
think Saving Lives did it.
Well, you know what I bet
first
helps. Here's I think that, but also, wow, Captain America called Scott to help him out. I mean, that's Captain America. That's like if you were.
I loved that scene when he's like, Cap, and like, did you just call him Cap? And he's like, Captain America. It's
Yeah.
like, I know him, all right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what that's what we call him. Because we're kind of friends.
Cap, we just call him Cap.
Yeah. No, that was great.
I also like that. That was literally kind of the only reference to the outside MCU until like the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Was just that one little reference to Civil War, which I thought was cool.
I did like when they were in the school and his modulator wasn't working and he was like a hobbit size. Like, oh, too bad Cap couldn't see this.
Just like, oh, he's angry. Did you get his juice box?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, do you really have those?
And like his thought process of I'm wearing a kid's sweater, I need to not get caught, time to stubbly run away. And the teacher's just like doesn't even give a shit, just like whatever.
Yeah, I love they made him the perfect size to be hilarious.
Yeah. Ghost was a pretty cool villain. Like, I like the villains that they had in it. Just the southern dude that's like, I want to get your tech.
Yep.
And her just being like,
Walton
I don't
Goggins
want
is
to
in,
die.
I love.
Yeah. I'm just a southern gentleman just trying to make a dishonest buck.
I just pictured him as his character that he played in Vice Principals.
See, I was thinking Hateful
And-
Eight, which doesn't make any sense, but
But yeah, I love me some Walton Goggins, and I also like Ghost a lot. I like how this movie doesn't have any like world-ending villain. It's basically Walton Goggins is the only genuinely bad person, I guess.
Right.
And I love how we kind of had Ghost and Lawrence Fishburne's character kind of as like not bad guys in any way, but they're like
well, no, see what their motivation
just misunderstood.
The motivation makes so much sense because I mean, like if you think about it, like anybody who was in Lawrence Fishburne's position where you have the opportunity and the knowledge to help a little girl, why wouldn't you? You know, and
yeah, exactly.
And then you have this, you know, you have Ghost, or you know, she's called Ava in the movie. You know, she's constantly being torn and ripped apart, and that happens to her at an early age. So to be fully grown and have to be in that constant pain, that kind of has to damage your moral compass a bit. You know, like when I stubbed my toe, the things I would do to make that pain go away. So just imagine that pain all over your body. I would probably be a mass murderer. I would be the next Dahmer, just to make the pain stop.
Well, she was also a trained assassin by S.H.I.E.L.D. too, as we found out.
Yeah, that was cool, and that made sense. And yeah, and I like how, and there's another kind of cool outside reference. Yeah, when S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, there really wasn't anyone there to, you know, help her.
Right. And Goliath was there. I love the scene with them just like comparing sizes, just like 25 feet. How about you? Oh, you know, it's nothing too big. You know, there's like, oh, come on, man, come on, 65.
Yeah, and I gotta say, you know, and the actress who played Ghost, Hannah John Kamen, I thought she was great, and I liked that. That for the most part, that they had a villain be portrayed by someone who's not like A-list yet.
Right.
You know, she's definitely
I'd never heard of her.
Yeah, like she's A-list talent, clearly. But I think because I had never seen her before, I bought into her story so much more. On top of it being well written and well acted, like it was just like, because sometimes it's hard. Because no matter how good the actor, part of me is like, oh yeah, there's, you know, Robert De Niro.
Was she in Kingsman?
The first one,
like knife feet chicken Kingsman.
Different actress.
Both British though, right?
Maybe both are beautiful. I'll say that.
Same thing then.
Everybody is British.
What?
So everybody's British. Everyone in every movie's British at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. Can't argue it. But
she was in the episode Playtest of Black Mirror.
A show
Is that the
a show I have still not watched.
Oh, it's good. It's good stuff. It's
me
dark.
either.
It's dark stuff. The Playtest episode actually was the one with what's his name? Wyatt Russell. Is he Kurt Russell's son? He's in some stuff.
Oh, I did watch that one.
Yeah, he does the like VR house thing.
Yeah, that was something.
She was the journalist or something. I think I remember her now. But yeah, that's the only thing I've seen her in.
That was a great synopsis, Jay. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah,
that
definitely was.
She was in one
Basically.
episode of Misfits, that British superhero or not superhero show, but the they got superpowers
Superpower.
I thought you meant the band Misfits. That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
No, that show was actually
Misfits.
pretty solid for the first 2 seasons.
Is that
when
what-
they got
yeah,
rid of
I
all
was-
their good actors?
Is that with what's his face from Game of Thrones?
Yeah. The first 2 seasons of the Misfits are fantastic.
So like as soon as I saw him on Game of Thrones, I was like, oh, this can't be good. Having a British actor that's like kind of popular.
But yeah,
Never
other
a good sign.
than that don't recognize her from anything. But it's cool that she got a shot to be in a Marvel movie, and I think she killed it.
I think so too. And apparently, how she got the part. This is some hella networking skills. She was recommended by some guy named Steven Spielberg because she had worked on Ready Player One, and Spielberg was
I just saw that.
And Spielberg was like, "Hey, I worked with her. She's really good. She should be in your movie." Can you just imagine Steven Spielberg recommending
having Spielberg in your Rolodex?
Having Spielberg recommend you for anything, like, "Hey, you want some mediocre podcast hosting? I know a guy. Oh my god, Steven Spielberg thinks I'm mediocre. Steven Spielberg knows who I am." Like, I don't even have to be good at it. Like, yeah, you want to hear someone talk with a really terrible British accent? I know a guy. Like, oh, that's me. Oh my god.
I really like the fact that she just didn't die too.
I did like that.
Because Marvel kills every one of their villains.
Yeah, I do like how there has been a kind of a turn as of late where that doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah, because, like, unless they're named Loki, they typically were gonna die.
Right. Or at least bring him back in creative ways like Red Skull for Infinity War.
Because even with,
was
like...
really cool.
Yeah.
Even with, Yellow Jacket in the first movie, like...
Yeah, you hated him.
There's so many... There's so many characters that didn't need to be killed. Like, you could bring them back, you could build out the character more, but when you don't give the character any room to breathe or anything, it's just...
Well, apparently, Reed has said that there's a chance Yellow Jacket is still alive. That he, too, could be lost floating in the quantum realm. And then if he could come back with special powers like Michelle Pfeiffer... Sorry, spoiler.
Like, is it, though?
Well...
The whole episode's a spoiler.
Yeah. I just can't believe they all died in the end.
I mean, I'm not going to say I called it.
Well, here's the thing. We knew...
I think most people called it, yeah.
We knew somebody was going to turn into a puff of smoke. We just didn't know who. Right. Like, I thought for sure it was going to be his daughter. I thought it was going to be, "Cassie, I did it. I'm home. Daddy!" Right.
I think that would have been a little too
intense.
Bleak. I remember we were saying that when we were talking about Infinity War, is like how to do it without making the whole movie super bleak.
Yeah. But I love...
Like, my thing is, I don't like that they all just kind of left him in I almost said Phantom Realm. Like some Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
That would be amazing. He's left in an anime somewhere.
Yeah, he's left in the Phantom... Yeah, that is the Phantom Realm. But, like, I don't like that he was left in the Quantum Realm, and, like, they were just like, "Oh, we're all dying, bye," immediately. Like, at first it's like, what's going on, what's happening? You'd think you could hear some of that on the mic or something, or, like, have a quick bring him back now, or, like, something.
See, I liked it.
All three of them go... fucking fade away at once and just nothing. Because Nick Fury was able to get a fucking text out.
Yeah, no, see, I liked it, and I think kind of leaving him in the Phantom Zone, I remember what the fuck we're calling it.
Quantum Realm.
Right.
Quantum Realm.
What
if they all just went, "I don't feel so good"?
I think that... See, here's my thing. If done right, it could be really cool how Scott is brought into the second part of Infinity War. My concern, though, is they're going to do it the way they did... Okay, remember at the end of Thor when the Bifrost was destroyed and we were all like, "Oh, but how's Thor going to get back to Earth to be in the Avengers?" And then the explanation is a throwaway line. Like, Loki's like, "How much dark matter did the All-Father have to conjure to bring you here?" And I'm like, that's it? That's all you got? I was hoping for a more dramatic coming to Earth. Not like if someone says, "Scott, what are you doing here?" "Oh, we used Stark Tech to bring him back. Move along. Nothing to see here." I'm going to be upset.
I think that him being in the Quantum Realm is going to be a pretty big deal. Like, I think it's going to make a decent... I don't know. Something has got to give.
He's come out of it once on his own.
I don't I don't know if he's gonna come out. I feel like there's something about the quantum realm that's gonna play into the whole Thanos Infinity Gem nonsense.
It looks a lot like Dormammu's realm.
You know what? It makes you wonder too if Scott was destined to be turned to an ashtray, but if something about being in the quantum realm protected him. Like if maybe somehow, like in the comic books, for example, when there was that whole DC Justice League crossover and Darkseid got the Infinity Gauntlet, but in his universe, it didn't work. It was like a piece of junk. So I'm wondering if...
Yeah, they always describe the quantum realm as essentially like a different universe, almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Different dimension. So yeah, I would have a feeling that Thanos' powers probably wouldn't work there.
And that could be pretty neato. I don't know. But it's so funny because when that post-credit... Even... So Angela and I went, like a Monday afternoon to see Ant-Man. And it was pretty decent turnout even for the middle of Monday. And it was like mainly adults. And I just love when that scene... Like... When, it pans back to the top of the parking lot and you just see, like, the falling ash. Everyone's like, oh, shit. Like, it was just kind of cool. Like, because, again, you knew it was coming, but the payoff was still there. And people were so upset about the second credit scene with the ant playing the drums.
Oh, I know.
I loved it.
Sabina was just like, I had to pee for 5 minutes, and you made me wait to watch a goddamn ant playing drums.
So I'm
like, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
But here's the thing I liked about that scene, and I noticed this is something that people aren't talking about when I'm looking online at reviews, and I love that before that scene started, you kind of heard that like emergency, like, and you see like the TV, like, please stand by, like it gave more, for me anyway, more of an impact about how global the repercussions are for what Thanos did.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
It was almost spooky. Like, it was like some people laughed, and I was like, yeah, it's cool seeing an ant play the drums, but I was just like, because when you see Infinity War, you only see the characters in the movie kind of turn to dust. For me, I never thought about like on a global scale, and then just to kind of see like just kind of like the streets empty and that emergency broadcast thing going off. It was like eerie, I thought it was very effective. I was like, oh man.
After the first like everyone turned to ash scene and like credits and everything, the person to the right of me just got up and was like, thought this was supposed to be a fucking wholesome movie.
I'm not filled with hope at all.
Right. I just heard some kid in the front row be like, I fucking knew it. And then somebody else was just like, yeah, we all did.
It was like kids trying to be like, nah, I called it.
Mm-hmm.
You're still a virgin, shut up.
I know how to predict things.
But I also want to talk about how badass the Wasp was.
Oh my god.
And how just like her ability to fly and use the zappers just made everything Ant-Man can do so much cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it was great. And I love how rounded that character was. She doesn't need Scott because he's like a man or like he's into her. It's only because like you're the only one who is in this realm. This is why we need you. It kind of break that kind of archetype of you're not here to save me. I'm not the damsel. I can clearly take care of my own. I'm smart, competent. I can kick ass. And I love how just everybody was kind of annoyed with him.
Right.
I thought that was great. But no, she was fucking fierce.
The fight scenes in general were great too.
Yeah, I think they did an awesome job in this movie with all the action.
Dude, the chase scene was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like
just becoming a little Hot Wheels car and
oh
then
my
going
god,
full size.
It was just like so well done. I mean, like I don't know. I just love anything that kind of can make me forget I'm watching a sequel where I'm not constantly comparing it to the first one, but you make me forget I'm watching a movie to begin with. Like I was so there and just being like, oh man, like that was a close call. Oh my god, are they gonna make it? You know, and I love the idea of like shrinking down the building. You know, and everyone's just trying to steal the lab. Briefcase. Yeah, that was great.
At the same time, though, I like the callbacks that they made to the first one as well, where it's like what's the Hispanic dude's name?
His what?
Michael Pena in real life, but I'm not sure about the character's name. Luis?
Luis, yeah.
Is it Luis? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when Luis gets the truth serum, that's not actually truth serum, but really is truth serum.
That
he just says yo, so this is what happened with my boy?
Oh
and
my god.
He just says that whole spiel again. And it's yo, that's where he's at emotionally. Yeah. And just the ghost comes out of nowhere. That's where he is. Oh my god.
Oh my god. That scene and then, was fucking hilarious.
What did the Russian guy keep saying of the story? The Papanushka or something?
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Like Baba Ganoush?
I don't know, but it was
something like that.
It was so good.
Yeah, oh my
god. It was like a boogeyman and whatever.
And it just got super serious and everybody got super creeped out by him.
Yeah.
And they had the old-timey music playing in the background.
I know. That was so great.
And then she appears and he's just freaking out saying the name over and over again.
Yeah, that whole bit was great. And yeah, Jay, I did like that. You know, he's when he's telling the story, it just kind of cuts back to when they meet in prison, to when, you know, like Scott first meets, you know, Hope, and God, it was just so great.
Yeah, it's getting retold, just like, yo, you're a bad mama jam, but like, I think I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
And like, they're still in like the same scene area as they were before. It's great.
Yeah, no, but
I'd love to just see a whole movie that's narrated by him.
You know, it'd be great if I don't know if I forget where I read this, but somebody was saying how it'd be funny if like before Infinity War you had Luis kind of explain everything that's happened in the movies up until then. That'd be great. That would make for a great Marvel one shot.
For sure. I like how they didn't kill him, and not literally, I mean like kill the jokes.
Right.
Like this movie wasn't half of him doing that.
Right. Like I think it happening twice in the first film was just enough, and this was a nice callback, and it didn't feel like forced. Which I really enjoyed, and it was hilarious. And then to just have that end with, you know, how often do you have like a villain show up and it's comedic? You know, like when she pops in and everyone freaks out. I was dying with laughter. So I just thought that was really well done.
I gotta say too, as far as Ghost goes, I really like that she's not like based off of stolen tech or anything like that.
Right.
It was just an accident from an experiment from a colleague. Yeah, so her powers aren't derived from the same source, technically.
A very Marvel origin.
Oh, totally.
A science experiment gone haywire.
But it's
that's just great.
Yeah, and it's kind of what's interesting is that, you know, Ghost is technically an Iron Man villain. So I thought that, you know, what they did with that character in Ant-Man, I thought was great. And the kind of long running complaint for a lot of Marvel movies is the villain, and I just thought she was amazing because either she's kind of spooky and, you know, kind of a little, you know, off, but it was like, you know, like when you hear her origin, it's like, well, yeah, well, no shit, she's like this, you know. It's like who else wouldn't do the same thing in her shoes, you know? So the motivations were great for everybody involved.
The fight scenes with her specifically, where you would see them like go to hit her and then she just disappears coincidentally at that time, or like, and then they go to hit her again and they actually hit on that one.
Right.
It was so cool, and like just seeing all the way they had the effect of like her body being there before like the more physical ones there, and just like the expression staying on screen when
my God,
the rest of hers disappeared.
That was great and like kind of spooky. Like, you know,
it was a really cool effect.
Oh, totally. Like if she would leave and there was like just like that trace of like the expression. I mean, yeah, it was
snail trail.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I definitely got the impression of this movie that Peyton Reed was becoming a much more competent director.
Good for him.
As far as like the action was super tight. All the character stuff was super tight. All in all, it was just super tight.
Yes. And I did like, was it Randall Park as like the FBI agent?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He was so good.
Just like oh, come on, man. Oh, and at the very end, it's like, oh, I'll be seeing you, Scott. Oh, where? No, like it's an expression, like just the awkward exchanges.
Oh, that was
them.
great. I love like it's like,
do
oh,
you
like,
want to go out for dinner?
oh, that was so good. That was like, why would I invite out to dinner? I don't know. I was thinking, why would he invite me out? And he's like, well, I mean, like, do you want to go get dinner?
Like I'm free, or never mind.
Yeah, so good.
Right.
So good. Yeah, I mean,
and the celebratory, like, yeah, we got him. I mean, sorry, Scott, but I really needed this win.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, the comedy, it never felt forced, you know, and you know, like, that was one thing I liked about this, is that it wasn't, you know, it wasn't an action scene for the sake of action or comedy for the sake of comedy. It just, everything felt well-timed and, you know, organic. And, yeah, and, you know, even though it has that dark, you know, post-credit bit, it was definitely a nice kind of palate cleanser after Infinity War. But yeah, it was good stuff, and I loved seeing more of Giant Man. You know, like the scenes with the ferry were great. Like I love, like,
I like how they
the
show
whale
how
thing.
exhausting it is too for him and how much it takes out of him.
Oh yeah, when he was like, I slept for 3 days after what happened in Germany.
Right. And like, just casually picking up the box, and then just as an extra, like, fuck you to him, he just pushes him down with his forefinger.
This is just embarrassing
like,
for you.
I have no idea how much that seems like it would suck, but
yeah,
it's emasculating.
yeah, so good. I love when he's like, yeah, I'm gonna lay down, and just falls into the ocean, and everyone's gets soaked by that wave.
Mm-hmm.
The Stanley cameo.
Oh
my god, I forgot about that. That
the
was
60s
definitely...
are starting to catch up to me again.
Yeah,
it's like they were fun, but oh boy,
but am I paying for it? Oh,
I forgot
damn.
about that. Yeah, this is a silly movie, and I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it was silly in all of the right ways. Yeah, no, it's
I'm trying to think of any scenes that like stick out in my head again too.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying. Yeah, I mean, the bit with the school and
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer taking over. Oh, sorry, Janet, whatever the fuck, taking over Scott Lang's body.
Yes.
And just like caressing fucking Hank Pym's face and acting like a mother toward them.
It was so good, and I did
That
like.
was ridiculous.
Well, and then when Paul Rudd kind of snaps out of it, and he's like holding hands with like Hank Pym.
He's like,
So good, all of it. And I gotta say, man, they are doing so well with whatever cinematic de-aging technology they're using, because, you know, I mean, we knew Michael Douglas would look good because, you know, his flashback and the first Ant-Man looked good, but God, I mean, when you see Michelle Pfeiffer, it was just like,
she looked pretty good as an old lady anyway, so.
true, but just like the technology of, you know, it's like did you see the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
I have not.
Well, the flashback scene with a young Johnny Depp is horrific. And I'm surprised Disney produced something like that. Like, when it looks like you unlocked a scene from your PS, like your first PlayStation. Like,
PlayStation 1?
It's rough.
Oh.
I remember when they had it with like the first time I saw it was in Tron,
Oh yeah.
where they had what's it?
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges, and it was like, I see what you're going for, but it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like the
wasn't all the
Samuel
way
Jackson, they announced Samuel Jackson is entirely de-aged for the entirety of Captain Marvel.
And I bet it looks good.
Probably does.
Also, Robert Downey Jr. being like 18 again in Civil War.
Yeah, that one was almost more impressive because he was so much younger.
Right.
And it didn't look fake. Like, remember, maybe you guys blocked this out, but in Wolverine Origins, when Patrick Stewart miraculously shows up at the end, he looks awful. It looks like somebody took like a head of a Cabbage Patch Kid and tried to make it look like Patrick Stewart. And
I can envision that.
He just like that will haunt me till the end.
That's not a life I want.
I don't think I've seen that movie in a very long time, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're looking for some free regret, it's on HBO.
I've
been watching a decent amount of shitty movies lately, but that one will never show up in like my. Maybe I should watch this.
You should watch Ready Player One.
Is that for free anywhere? Once it hits like HBO Go or Netflix or something, I'll watch it.
It's not on either of those, but I did watch it illegally. In HD.
I always try to find the legal route first before I wade into the gray areas of the internet.
Right. So that way, like,
you can pay for it on PlayStation Network.
Well, at least Rob can say, when the FBI comes knocking down his door, it's like, hey, listen, I tried to do it the right way, but society forced my hand.
There's
It's like Breaking Bad.
Peer pressure.
There's a movie that came out like a year or two ago, Hell or High Water. It's just like a modern day Western that looked really good, and I wanted to see it really bad, and I literally could not fucking rent it anywhere. I was like, I want to pay $5 to watch this movie. I couldn't rent it on the iTunes store, couldn't rent it on the Xbox store, Google Play, Amazon. You could only buy it. And I was just like, no, I refuse. I didn't stream it. I just haven't watched it. But I wanted to.
I thought the route was going like, oh no, I ended up streaming it. And
I just watched something else.
Nope, it's just, I'm still a good Samaritan. I play by the rules.
I used to pirate a ton of stuff.
Then
but now, right? in my old age, I got a little paranoid, and I'm just like, if I end up on a channel that's doing it, I'll watch it, I guess. And that's that.
And this has been That's That with Rob Nordberg.
People will be coming up to you in the streets. Say the thing! Say the thing! And that's that, folks.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing I did like about Ant-Man was that we kind of get to hear more about Hank Pym's past of just being a total fucking dick to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love in general all the flashbacks. Yeah,
like
anytime.
He made a guy kill himself just to prove his theory, and he disowned fucking Goliath just because he was like, "Man, fuck you! I don't want to work with you. You're an idiot." How many lives did he destroy?
Not
just
enough.
So you'd be like, "No, it's my research. My wife is dead now, you pieces of shit."
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are they called Foster particles? No, they're Pym particles. So shut the fuck up and do what I say.
Pretty much. I was hoping that there would be some sort of genetic abnormality with Janet for him to have created the Pym particles. But, meh. These things happen.
These things do happen.
And this has been... These things do happen.
Is there anything else that stands out for you guys that you want to talk about?
Trying to think.
I know, it was just good.
Yeah, all in all, it was
Hope
just
was real pretty.
Real good.
Hope was pretty.
Thing.
Yeah.
And the my daddy wants to partner up with you thing. That was real sweet. She's such a wholesome little girl.
Yeah.
She's the best daughter.
She has to have been built in a lab. Even the actress was she was a little too good at this.
Like the first movie too, even when it was just like, oh, hey Peanut, I got you a little bunny rabbit. It's so ugly, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do have like a pretty awesome relationship.
Like she gets him, he gets her.
Yeah,
and she's like doing the I got your back, Dad.
It's beautiful.
The fact though that oh well you need a partner to watch your back. Oh well she's not here. I kind of messed that up. Oh, you meant you, Peanut. Oh. Just like the act, like he fucked up as a parent in that one split second.
I know, and then she's like, "Don't laugh."
And you like gets the audience against him so immediately. She's like, "You fucked that up for that little girl. She is an angel.
You monster.
You fix this right now." Oh no, Peanut! I got your back.
This did get me very excited for Captain Marvel, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm like, I want more Marvel movies.
I know, now I gotta wait 8 months.
I know, oh
I wish
god
Captain
damn,
Marvel
I gotta wait 8 months.
Was in it, kinda.
I mean, it makes sense that she wouldn't be.
It doesn't have to make sense that she wasn't either.
We need a goddamn trailer, is what we need.
I know,
We need something.
We should. I bet we'll get one soon. Like with San Diego Comic-Con coming up, I bet we'll.
Oh, true. Well, they're definitely gonna get one. They wrapped filming. I saw Brie Larson post something about that.
Yep. They wrapped filming. I want to know. Yeah, oh God, I'm so excited. I just need to see the second half of Infinity War. Like I don't know. I'm like, oh, is this how people felt when Empire Strikes Back came out?
Except they had to wait several years.
Yeah. Well, we're millennials. We want everything now.
Exactly. We need everything now, and we want to destroy shitty chain restaurants. That is our goal in this world.
Which shitty chain restaurants?
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing.
I don't know. What are they? You didn't read all those articles? They're just like, Applebee's is dying, and it's because of millennials. I'm like, I can think of a few other reasons why Applebee's is dying.
Fuck Applebee's. Yeah. I've never had a good Applebee's experience.
Oh, it's the fucking worst.
Like,
I haven't been there in 15 years probably. So
give me a Ruby Tuesdays. Give me a TGI Fridays. I'll take it. If there's an Applebee's, I might rather hit up like McDonald's. I'm just saying.
Like Applebee's is like my asshole's Vietnam. You're welcome.
Go on. No, go on. I want you to clarify.
It's like, oh god, Charlie's everywhere.
For me, it's always
I have flashbacks.
Applebee's has always just felt like kind of the lowest quality of the chain restaurants that are already quite low quality most of the time.
But one that should be promoted more is Texas Roadhouse.
I'm just glad I didn't say Arby's. I hate Arby's.
I have not had Arby's in a very long time.
Congratulations.
Curly fries, however, always look delicious. But curly fries,
they always look delicious.
Ooh, baby. I just love curly fries. They probably are delicious.
Curly fries, yeah, you can't, as long as they're like actually curly fries that are like kind of springy.
Yeah, like
the ones
seasoned
that are like
curly
fucked up and like overly dry, and it's just like, oh, it's got a swirl to it. It's like, no, fuck you.
Nah, dude, curly fries are serious business.
I'm a sweet potato fry guy.
I'm a fan. Sweet potato fries done right. Can't be too soggy. You got to get a little bit of crisp to them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you guys want to start a podcast where we talk about French fries, I could go for hours. Like, yeah, sure, Ant-Man was fine, but...
Did your theater have any fries? That's the important part.
My theater had cheesecake.
Probably did. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How extravagant.
I don't want to know. I just like, I'm sure, like, the picture looks great, but you know how these things go. Never meets expectations.
So you just like having the option available if you ever feel like it.
I mean, yeah. It's like, God, you know what would go great with this cinematic adventure? A nice cheesecake.
Yeah, the theater I go to is in like a plaza that has a Whole Foods in it. So I usually go to the Whole Foods and get get a beverage and like a healthy snack. Throw it in my wife's purse and have ourselves a party.
There you go.
That was the most adult sounding, like, you go to Whole Foods, I got a healthy snack, I put it in my wife's purse, and then we watch the movie and pay our taxes.
I feel feel like a little bad man there, you know?
Question. Do you think that we're probably going to get to the point where we just bring whatever we want into the movie theaters without having to sneak?
I feel like it's basically at the point, like,
we're pretty much right.
Nobody's gonna check your bags if you're an adult. They're like, excuse me, sir.
But do you think when you're able to actually bring in like a fucking bag of chips, whatever, miscellaneous, blah blah blah, that people from our generation will still just be like, no, put it in your purse. I don't fucking trust these guys.
I hope that they don't allow that, because I don't want to encourage people to bring in like just nasty shit. Like, smell up the place.
Someone brings in a nice hot cod.
Like, it's like when you're on the train and you smell the person that brought the Italian sub. You're like, what are you doing, you bastard?
It's like, why does it smell like feet? Nasty feet.
I've not experienced that.
Well, you're a lucky man.
Yeah. Seriously.
People are gross. People are gross.
People are monsters.
People are truly monsters.
With their nasty feet subs.
Speaking of food, though, Louise and the like little raspberry Danish thing.
Oh, great!
We want to give a good impression. That's why we have the expensive pastries out there. You guys get to eat the oatmeal.
It tastes like sand.
Nah, you just put a little brown sugar on top and microwave for like 5 minutes. You good.
I just love how they managed to kind of bring back everyone, and it like worked so well.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I love how they start their own little business was ex-con securities.
Right.
It was great. You know, I like that, you know, like Louis just like, or like Louis is trying to like.
It is to find work.
Yeah. He's like trying to be a good manager. Like, yeah, it was great.
And the truth serum just like, yeah, we're actually broke. We really need to land this deal.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, what?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. I just like how everyone fit into it, and I felt like a good natural progression from, you know, you could literally watch like Ant-Man, Civil War, and this, and you would kind of have like a little decent trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Granted, the second movie has a smaller Ant-Man appearance, but you know, kind of important
or larger, depending.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. All about perspective, but yeah, no,
I'm
that
sure
was
they'll
great.
have a third Ant-Man. It's been too fun of a franchise so far for them to just be like, no, we're done.
Yeah,
no, I think they're gonna stick around for a while.
They know it's
some
good for
quantum
them.
realm shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's nice about Marvel is that, you know, like Scott Lang could be, you know, part of like a new group of Avengers. Like, you know, you can see Scott Lang, you know, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in an Ant-Man movie. So yeah, you know, you could potentially see anybody anywhere. There's actually a small part of me that was hoping that Luis was going to talk about when he was doing his recap, if like it like cut to like either Chris Evans or Jeremy Renner trying to recruit him, but like, you know,
yeah,
they probably maybe just couldn't afford it, but that would have been kind of cool.
That whole flashback explanation was so great.
Yeah, all that stuff it's so good.
It really is. That's the thing you can just kind of just take away from this episode. It's just, it was awesome. It was a good movie.
Super fun.
Yeah, people listen to this. You should watch Ant-Man if you haven't been destroyed mentally from hearing all the spoilers already anyway.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that people won't listen to this if they haven't seen the movie.
Right.
It is just a suspicion.
Or who knows? It could just be like a how did this get made situation.
Could be.
They want to know everything about the movie before they go into it.
People like that are weird.
Well, apparently there was an actual science experiment where they tested certain audiences and they found that the level of enjoyment from seeing a movie when you know what's going to happen is higher than not knowing. I think it's because of that. The absence of that anxiety.
Makes sense.
But
depends on the movie, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't know. I like being surprised. I like having those big moments.
Like Infinity War, if it was like, hey, Spider-Man dies and Gamora dies.
The thing that was just a bummer about that is that I saw that all coming. Just that's the one downside of just being a huge nerd.
Right. I mean, we knew multiple characters
coming.
would die, but the only thing that got me for the most part was just the fucking Tom Holland dickhead improvising that line saying, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
Bastard.
He sure didn't.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to not see it coming, especially when you've read the Infinity War comic. It's like, how else was that supposed to... Like, you know, my friend Juan said it best. He was like, if this movie ends and nobody, like, in either if they're not all dead or if half of them aren't dead, I'm going to be pretty pissed off.
I think it's more of the selection of characters that were killed off.
Yeah.
Because, like, Black Panther immediately was just like, yo.
Honestly, Black Panther in that movie was the one that gave it away for me. I'm like, this shit ain't permanent. They're already playing in number 2.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it is? I think it's because they did it so that in the next Infinity War, it'll kind of let the original Avengers kind of have one last hurrah before there's the new Avengers.
We lose them. Yeah.
So, you know, before it's like the Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Ant-Man show.
Before, like, Chris Evans and all of them are just like, I can finally eat real food and not have to fast for 4 years again.
Yeah. I also think that they have plenty of female characters to do like an A-Force movie if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Which I fully endorse because I would love to see that movie.
I want a She-Hulk.
I would like the She-Hulk as well, but
She-Hulk would be awesome.
But if you can get me like the Wasp, Okoye, you know, Black Widow, Gamora, Valkyrie, I mean, that could be a pretty sick A-Force movie.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah. Just bring Domino in for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could only hope.
Yeah.
Well, at least Disney went full crazy billionaires and outbid Fox, so...
Or outbid Comcast.
Or yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Still not final, though. So it's like, I'm tired of holding my breath, y'all. It's like, the Dow Jones has acknowledged the deal. Cool, so have we. Can we get this fucking show on the road? Why are we dragging this out?
It's like, who is Dow Jones anyway? Tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
Yeah. Fucking Jones. Dow.
WSB Jones.
That's his name.
Fucking dick.
Hello, my name is Dabius whatever Jones.
Dabius B. Jones.
Dabius B.S. Jones. Just feel like
name.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Me too.
This has been a meandering podcast, but it's been fun. Team Good Times.
Before we go, I read the most ridiculous manga. It's called Colosseum, and Vladimir Putin develops a wristband thing off of golden discs that were brought to them by the gods that allow them to have super strength. and create a force field that disallows modern technology from causing them any harm.
Vladimir Putin was in this manga?
Yeah. And like Russia's not called Russia anymore. It's called like Putinovka.
Wow.
And just when I thought anime could not get any weirder.
Oh, never underestimate that.
Take a step back there. This is not anime. This is manga. If this gets animated, I'll fucking shit a brick.
Oh God.
And what was this called? Call 'em as I see 'em?
It's called Coliseum.
Call 'em as I see 'em.
They have a ridiculous thing where one dude, like the Chinese or Japanese army is fighting like just like 3 of these Russian dudes, and there's a giant ass chain in the ground as like the troops are trying to retreat. He just grabs the ends of the chains and picks up 100 men and just does a fucking suplex with 100 dudes in his arms and crushes all their skulls at once. And Putin gets pissed off at something and he just karate chops a tiger's head off.
It's very interesting commentary the Japanese have.
This isn't something I want to have be real.
Yeah, I don't want that shit either.
I think it's funny.
It's definitely funny. I'm definitely not upset that it exists.
You shouldn't read it. It's not worth it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not planning on it, but
that's fair.
I appreciate it.
As long as we can be honest with each other.
That's really all I ask for this podcast. I just
the
want
only
honesty.
anime in my life at the moment is Dragon Ball Z Kai. Still.
I think you'd like Boku no Hero Academia.
I've heard a lot of stuff about that. That's one of the ones that the kids on the street, the anime kids on the street, just won't stop yelling about it.
Pretty much, yeah. I think you'd like it though.
Dancing in the street.
Superhero stuff.
That's just anime
Where
kids.
Are you at in Kai?
Yes.
Where are you at in Kai?
Where am I? Goku just said, "Well, I can't beat Cell. Your turn, Gohan." That's about it.
Nice. Did you hear the most recent news for Dragon Ball Z?
I know that there's a
movie
coming out
for Broly. The Dragon Ball Super Broly movie 4, which is going to make him canon.
Oh.
Yeah. He's pretty rad.
Interesting. That is cool. Because, yeah, I remember growing up, Broly was always just like... Everybody's like, he's not real.
Villain.
He's not real.
Right. He's like... oh, fuck. I already forget what it's called. He's like the Babugushka or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that thing is. The babushka. I'm pretty sure that's just like what people call their grandmother.
Yeah, sure. Y'all want to see an ugly owl I found in my closet?
That's a great segue. Oh, wow. Did you make that?
I think I got it in a grab bag from an anime convention a few years ago.
This is playing so well on our audio podcast.
Yeah, we can make it the cover photo if you want.
Paul already had an idea for the cover
Ant-Man,
photo. Jay.
For an Ant-Man cover photo. An ugly owl.
Oh my god. I think Jay's drunk.
No, I'm just tired.
I think we're all tired. This is one of those wonderful sleepy time reviews.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
And what have you read, Paul?
Oh, the Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Oh, yeah. Baba Yaga. I was close.
Yeah. The Baba Yaga, which...
Yep.
I was like, why is that so familiar? John Wick.
Oh, yeah. Baba Yaga. The boogeyman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a supernatural being. That's the first line of the Wikipedia page. I could keep reading it, but it's very long.
If you take one thing away from this episode, is that we don't have any effort right now.
Not in the last 10 minutes.
It's been a sleepy day.
But y'all know the drill. Because I fucking don't. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Wednesday Comic Podcast at gmail.com.
Do you know we still haven't got a single goddamn email from anyone?
Jesus Christ.
Really?
Yeah. Wednesday Comic Podcast at gmail.com. Somebody just
God,
say what's up.
I haven't been saying it wrong, right?
Anyone?
Well, because I
Well, the first
for a
100
while
times you did.
Yeah, the first 100 times is pretty inconsistent, but
because I'm imagining
Comic Wednesday podcast, Wednesday Comic Podcast at hotmail.org.
Because I'm
at spinsters
at comics.biz
sweatshop.
Because I'm just imagining like a Wayland Cornelius at yahoo.com being like, why is everyone emailing me about comics?
Yeah.
Imagine just like the one person that was trying to send us stuff, just like, I know that you have my messages, you pieces of shit. Sorry I lashed out. It's not intentional. I've been waiting to you for 4 years, and there's nothing that I've gotten back from. Not even a shout out. Not even a shout out.
I would reply to any email that's sent to us, no matter how confusing and ridiculous it may be. I actually would enjoy a confusing and ridiculous email.
Yeah. I mean, there was that one time that somebody reached out to us on Facebook asking where that Cyclops episode was.
That was true. The one person who interacted with us. If you still listen to the show, God bless your heart.
Send us
like
an email.
Comments
It's
on
been like 100 episodes
articles.
since then.
I'm just going to start making fake email accounts and emailing Rob.
Are you going to catfish Rob? Because if so, I want in.
Okay.
I mean, you know the drill. Bye.
I'm not going to say we stuck the landing, but I think we stuck the landing.